Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the very beginning of our James Bond film commentaries. Although today we're technically not starting with a film, we're starting with a TV show. This is the 1954 version of the Casino Royale adaptation, and it stars an American as James Bond, Barry Nelson.
Kane?
Kane, really?
So
nothing wrong with having good old Americans.
The Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Lion.
Well, actually, there's this message. I think there's this message, a little bit of a message up at first, but then it gets to Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. Okay, 3, 2, 1, click. Basically, this was part of a TV show called Climax or Climax Mystery Theatre, and that basically showed TV adaptations of books. From what I know.
That never stops being nice and loud.
What up?
Oh, speaking of nice and loud.
Well, I guess this looks like a gun barrel. A little bit.
Peter Lorre.
Oh, Peter Lorre. Awesome.
Who?
Maybe she's the mother of the Cristiano brothers?
But then her last name would have to be Cristiano.
Oh, yeah, true. I love the 1950s.
Yeah.
Really? I find it hard to believe.
Is that a clock?
No, it's one of them card.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, it was one of those propaganda things. Gambling is evil.
All right. Well, basically, what he's saying here. Okay, it's not like the 2006 movie where the game was poker. In this follows the original book, so the game's baccarat, not poker. Yeah, we know it was. They told us that earlier.
Yeah, the 50s were a magical period for that in that regard.
And so we begin outside, well, the Casino Royale. Casino Royale, Act 1.
Yeah, for the 3-4 people who don't know, the James Bond series was actually started as a book series, novel.
By Ian Fleming.
Yeah, by Ian Fleming.
Yep. Whoa.
And Ben got it.
Oh, yeah. Look at this genius tactic.
Again,
really? They don't shoot the arms?
Well, again, okay, for the sake of the audience who may not be familiar with movies of this time period, the 1950s were a much simpler time when writers and directors didn't really think logically.
Yeah,
and it was
the show was done live.
Oh, even more of a reason though.
Yeah.
Was that Vincent Price as the bellboy?
I don't really know.
That wouldn't surprise me, but I'll look it up.
Maybe as a cameo or something.
I didn't get a good look at his face, so I wouldn't know. But the point is,
it definitely sounded like him.
Basically, everybody back in the 1950s, writing and directing was much simpler, and people didn't really think logically like we do today. They mostly just thought of the fact that we were just watching people move and do things was enough back then, and we didn't really think logically about things.
Again, okay, I'm gonna say.
From what I've heard, this is one of those movies that actually holds up to an extent.
Okay, I gotta say. This is just so weird hearing Bond talk with an American accent.
Yeah, I just speaking as a Bond fan myself, I don't really like it.
Okay, well, bear in mind again, this was long before Bond became a huge pop culture sensation.
I know,
so
but
this
still,
is what we call early installment weirdness.
I know, but still, would it kill them to get someone who could do a British accent?
I mean, hell, Felix Leiter, you know, Bond's usual go-to guy, who's American usually, is British here. So basically, they swapped the nationalities around.
They should have gotten like a reverse Hugh Laurie, a British guy who can do a flawless American accent.
I think you mean an American guy.
Like what he says, not all games are as simple as just winning or losing. And there's more to these rules.
So, Dweebs, can you tell the people who are not familiar with the novel what this particular Bond story is about?
Okay, I haven't read the novel myself, but basically, Bond it's Bond at a casino, and the bad guy, Le Chiffre, who in this one is played by Peter Lorre, is basically having a bit of financial trouble, and so he has to win at Casino Royale to help himself and others. Again, I don't know what the book was like with the plot, but
I haven't read it, so I don't know myself.
So
I'm only going by.
Basically, the challenge for most of the action, quote unquote, is represented by the game itself.
Yeah, basically, I'm going off what I've seen of what little I've seen of this, and also from what I've seen of the 1967 film and the 2006 film.
Yeah, speaking as someone who's actually not a fan of the 2006 film, I want to see how these older adaptations are in comparison.
I'm pretty sure you're going to hate the 1967 one.
Really? Why?
Really? Why?
It's basically they turned it into a parody of Bond, and a bad one.
Well, honestly, that's to me, Casino Royale, the 2006 movie, was seemed to me like it was just that. Except doing it for laughs, it felt like it. Okay, if the 67 movie, made everything way goofier than it should be, even it went way too far in the goofy meter, then to me the 2006 movie went too far in the other direction.
Okay, they're going to explain basically Bond's tactic here is he's gonna give Leiter some info on the mission, but when someone comes too close to them and they're the enemy, he's gonna suddenly switch to explaining about Baccarat.
Makes sense, I guess. Confusing.
But the way he goes about it is odd. Okay, this is live. This is a live show, so I get the feeling he was looking at his auto cue.
So, which one's Bond?
The American.
Yeah, but
the one on the
left.
left.
The one with the bow tie? Oh, that
left.
one. Okay. My God, he's like He's like that generation's William Shatner by the looks and acting.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Dwibs. It's a bit jarring hearing Bond talking like this.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, the only actor who's I think even further away from being from Britain is George Lazenby. He's Australian.
Depends. Was the focus of the story? Okay. Does this story in particular focus on something taking place in Britain? At least this adaptation.
Casino Royale's always been in a foreign country.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, and since this was the very first ever
screen version of a Bond.
Yeah, I'm guessing that they didn't focus so much on Bond being British.
Yeah, again, I don't think Ian Fleming sold the rights to this for all that much. Basically, this whole thing actually started the whole issue of with the official Bond filmmakers getting to make the 2006 film, because Ian Fleming sold it to the guy who produced this, but then he sold it to another guy who died, and then he sold it to another guy, and so on and so on.
So they were never in the hands of Paramount?
No. The Bond filmmakers. Paramount. Films.
It's funny you mentioned copyright.
The way he goes about it, it's like he's asking for it to be solved. Okay, do this. Oh, by the way, I'm totally not faking here. Anyway, yeah, go on.
It's funny you mentioned
copyright. And in here, he's not called James Bond. He's called Jimmy Bond.
What, really?
Yes, Jimmy Bond.
Jimmy Bond.
Again, you have... remember, Dwibs, you have U.S. to thank for Bond ever getting a career on the screen. It's because of this.
Took 10 years after this, but... Well, no,
yeah.
8 years, sorry. 8 years, not 10.
Mm-hmm. Is anything important going on? Because I was going to bring up...
explaining the plot.
Okay.
Again, Joe, have you seen the 2006 Casino Royale?
Or the 1967?
This is my first ever watching of a James Bond movie in full.
Wow.
Oh, really?
I mean, trust me, I know a lot about the character, I've heard a lot about the character, but I've never gotten around to watching the movies. Well, except for the clips you've shown me.
Basically,
So-
the idea is that they need to basically win the money.
Yeah,
get it.
basically back then, Ian Fleming sold the rights to this, and he got like in 1954 money $1,000, which is about nearly $9,000 today.
So, what could possibly go wrong? I mean, all we need to do is just get back that much money from a casino.
Yeah, basically, if Bond wins, Le Chiffre's pretty much screwed.
Yeah, and since that is really good for Britain's affairs, that's why they sent him.
But here's the thing, though. I mean, couldn't they just okay? This is a plot hole. I think it was in the 2006 one. But I think it applies if this is correct. I think it applies to all of Casino Royale. Couldn't the British Secret Service just tell the casino, look, if this guy wins,
Thank you.
he's gonna fund international terrorism and stuff. So could you please bar him or turn him over to us?
Let me guess, extraterritorial rights.
Last I checked, it's been a while since I watched it, but it wasn't the casino like under his control or something?
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
Okay, this character here. Basically, this character, Valerie Mathis, is a combination of two characters.
Okay.
Vesper and a male character named Mathis, but they combined the two into one because
With all your powers combined.
because time, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's played by Linda Christian.
That words to live by whenever you're a girl living with Bond.
Yeah.
Acting in the 1950s.
It's quirky.
By the way, Pedro, I think you've seen Barry Nelson before in something. Actually,
The name definitely rings
he was
a bell.
in The Shining.
Oh yeah. What? Wait, who was he?
He was the guy who was telling Jack about the dangers of where.
Oh, basically the hotel owner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that was his last film role.
Might have been maybe one of his last. I don't know.
Well, then again, it's his partial filmography I'm looking at. Fair point. Ooh.
And
Well-
I think this is like the only James Bond thing ever made in black and white. So
Yeah. When they started making the movies, they did them in color.
But again, TV shows around this time weren't exactly all thing. I think it took us in the UK till the late 1960s to get color.
And from what I gather, this was a standard TV show made by a local broadcasting station.
Yeah, it was a national one, I think. Let me check. It was from CBS.
Me. Yeah, he kind of has some kind of Brooklyn accent to him.
Of course, whenever you can't get British, just go for Brooklyn.
Where's Barry Nelson from exactly? Let me check. He's from San Francisco.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Ah, yes.
It's not a Bond movie if he doesn't get laid.
Old times, eh?
Also, I think the music is a bit too loud.
What?
I find it a turn on.
Are we in Sonic Adventure 2?
Wait, what? Oh, she's working with Le Chiffre.
Yes, one of the things that Bond manages.
So of course he takes her
actually
up. So of course he takes her upstairs and.
Yeah. Basically, for Bond, the mission has any kind of priority, and that also means sometimes to cock-block himself. I don't know how he managed to find the willpower to do it, but more props to the guy.
We know he isn't even above striking women to get information, as Diamonds Are Forever would prove. The film, not the book. What was that, Jimmy? I can't hear you.
Don't make me lecture you anymore in this soothing voice.
Yeah, Bond. Usually in the films, Bond would be a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How was he in the books?
Or Bond. Again,
Well, you know-
I haven't really read the books.
Ah,
Well, from what I've heard, it was like only the first few movies that were actually somewhat faithful to the book, and after that, after say on Her Majesty's Secret Service, they wouldn't do another proper faithful book to screen adaptation until the 2006 Casino Royale.
huh.
Also, what's that weird piano in the background?
I think I'm honestly. I don't
I'm guessing
know if
that's a
it's
part
the
of the
case,
casino.
But no, isn't I
How
forgot?
is anyone able to sleep here?
Well, were TV shows like that kind of things that were when we were broadcasted for the first time, the soundtrack were made on the spot by an actual people with the instruments.
Yeah. Back in the
If you're talking about
by the 50s, I think we were able to do that. To actually have the score recorded in the movie itself, but I think back in the 30s, not in the 30s, okay, back in the early 30s, on the other hand, yes, when the movie was playing on the theater, there would have to be an actual orchestra on the theater playing the music. But I'm pretty sure that stopped when movies became talkies, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd say the piano is probably something going on in the background, like at the actual casino.
Yes,
I know
somehow this turns me on.
The fact that she's the chief's actual girlfriend turns him on.
Who are you to judge?
Well, it's Bond.
Oh well.
Don't worry, Bond. There's always next time you may be able to actually get a girl who loves you for you.
Okay, okay. Tio!
What?
Sorry, I have
Oh,
to...
and by the way, if you haven't heard anything about Peter Lorre, go do that immediately. He's like a legend of cinema.
I can tell just by looking at him that he screams legend.
Anyway...
I mean, just listen to his voice.
And
Yeah, he
yeah.
had always this peculiar tone of voice that made him instantly recognizable.
anyway, Tio, I was just going to say, have you seen any of the Casino Royale movies?
Only the 1967 one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have to keep in mind, Waves. My grandparents, since when I was a kid, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents, and they had this huge collection of VHS from pretty much all times. That's why I'm keeping contact with movies like Murder on the Orient Express or Journey to the Center of the Earth, the 50s version. So I know a lot of these old movies from the 50s, 60s, or even the 30s sometimes.
Wow.
Oh, hang on, let's listen to this. This is important.
Okay.
Actually, no, it's another phone conversation they have. Sorry.
Still, though, at least it establishes that he's going to have the police watching him. So,
Although,
Unless it was faking it.
and another thing I will say, unlike like the first two, the first two Bond movies, they had like a appropriate use of music in some areas. In the early Bond films, for some reason, they put the Bond theme in some really odd places.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you when we get to them. Basically, audience, we may or may not also include Shiori in the actual main Bond film commentaries. But
We'll probably have her in some of them at the very least.
yeah, again, there's only like a 2 sets of Bond films that have actual continuity with proper continuity with the other, and only Casino Royale had an actual direct sequel that was Quantum of Solace.
Ugh.
So, from what I hear, wait. So, what's wrong with Quantum of Solace?
Everything.
Everything.
It's literally a Jason Bourne movie with a James Bond paint coat on it, literally.
Honestly,
Oh,
Theo,
God.
honestly, Theo, I thought the same of Casino Royale too. I know I'm in the minority when I say this, but
Pedro, I think
Wait.
let's
Casino Royale, a Jason Bourne clone? I mean, it doesn't seem like the kind of story
I don't know. Granted, maybe that's how it was in the books, but honestly, I thought the overly dark tone was very poorly done.
Okay, Pedro, I'm sure we can. Okay, regardless of our opinions on that film, we can at least give Casino Royale one thing.
Yes, go ahead.
It was coherent.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong, Dibs. Quantum of Solace is worse. I'm not saying it's worse. I'm just saying that I didn't like Casino Royale either.
Anyway,
which Casino Royale are you talking about?
The 2006 one.
better.
The Daniel Craig.
Back to this one.
The Daniel Craig
Okay.
one.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Of course. He's
Wow,
doing
I love how he politely put a gun to his back so
yeah.
slowly.
Yeah. I'm sure no one will raise any suspicions with the gun underneath that perfectly secure.
Don't you see, Dweebs? That's just everyday use occurrence there. Yeah.
But won't there be witnesses?
Saved by the Bell.
But we're not in the 1990s, Jova.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, that was savage.
What's with that music there?
You see, there's back in the 90s. This was back. This was back.
Way of saying
Okay.
gotcha.
Yeah, back in this time, Dwebs, movie scores were if subtle was not in the vocabulary.
Just think about the movie score. Apparently, unless Wikipedia's just lying to me. Again, we'll check during the credit. I think there is credits here. There might be. I don't know. Apparently, Jerry Goldsmith did the score.
Yeah, why are you so surprised?
Because I don't think he'd be the kind of guy to be doing. I mean, again, I know this is probably if it's true. I know this is probably very early on in his career, but it's a interesting choice. I'll check IMDb.
The guy's not that limited. He does quite a few things. In fact, one of his actual genres is literally film score. Ah, yes. Poetry citing what it was like after the big war.
Well,
This
was after World War II when every country was pretty much just, pulling their breath.
Okay, there's a lot of different accounts, but according to this page,
Oh, hi, Inspector Clouseau.
apparently Goldsmith didn't really make any of the music here. He just picked some at random. He just picked some and put them in here whether they'd fit. Although he did actually write some for CBS's library, which I think is what they used.
Yeah, so by default, he's the composer. Since they're using, stock music, it's his music.
Oh, here we go. This is important. Here we go.
Well, crap.
Oh dear. You still didn't explain why this should. You still didn't explain why this should matter to me.
I guess it's
he
implied
knows
we know he has some kind of, he still loves her or something.
Okay. I think we're coming up to the end of Act 1 now.
Huh. Kind of
Alright.
short to have X. And again, 1950s.
Casino Royale will return after these messages. And we return to
Outer.
Casino Royale, Act 2.
Act 2.
Or 3, because that guy's white collar made it look like a 3. Peter Sellers?
Oh, he does look like him. Oh my god, so the Doctor time traveled back to the making of the first ever James Bond movie.
Well, actually, Peter Sellers was in the 1967 movie.
Alright,
And
since I'm not really practiced on this particular game, can anyone explain to me how it works?
I can't.
Which one are they doing?
The film earlier.
Baraka, what the hell
The
is...
Baccarat.
Oh, Baccarat. Basically, it's don't you watch spy movies?
Yeah, but I remember, Pedro, I'm a certain person who still doesn't understand to this day how that dice came from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay, there are three
here's
variants
a page
of
for you,
it.
Tio.
Go ahead, Jova.
Let's let Tio read that in his own time. Otherwise, we'll be spending the rest of this commentary
Sure,
just banging
sure.
on about the card game.
I'll see on my own.
So long, but alright.
Again, well, they did explain earlier in the
Oh, they're
film.
playing the Banco variant.
Well, they did explain in this film earlier. We talked over it, so
Okay.
Yeah, if they're playing the Banco variant, basically there's no score strategy involved. It's basically where the player's moves are forced by the cards that each player is dealt.
Okay. Here's a problem with, I guess, in Casino Royale in general, not just each separate movie. If you don't know the rules of any of these games, which I'm pretty sure, which is why I think they replaced Baccarat with poker in the 2006 film, and even then it applies there as well. If you don't know the rules of these card games, you're going to be pretty lost. And if you're lost, you don't really feel any sense of tension.
The
I mean, I know-
maybe still be felt.
I know they explained the rules earlier, but yeah, even so, it can still be a bit. I mean, if you don't like watching card games in general, this could be pretty boring.
Admittedly,
it
if
definitely
we
needs
talk
more
over it's our own.
motorcycles.
Yeah, I'd argue that it's not always so much of whether or not you know the game, but also how well, say, the movie sets up the scene. It balances out. For example, in this case, obviously, they don't have, a lot of the cool close-ins or 360-degree camera angles that circle around or, zoom-ins. Like, well, usually when you have, like, a card game, you build up suspense with the music and camera work. Admittedly, this is an earlier one, so yeah, you'd want to know the card game to know what's going on. However, if we did talk over it and it wasn't too long, I guess it is our own fault. Although I will admit, I myself am surprised that they're not using the usual poker thing.
Well, again, Baccarat was in the original book, and this is an adaptation of the book. Condensed, but...
Is that game that famous in Britain, Dwebs?
It was, I think, during the 50s, but I'm guessing by now not many people have really heard of it. So that's why they changed it. Plus, it's still a card game, so really, who cares?
Yeah. Alright, Mr. Bond, in order to save your life and once we love you, I challenge you to a children's card game.
Actually,
This
sir,
looks
it's an
like-
adult
Actually, Teo,
card.
this is an adult card game, so unfortunately we cannot do that joke. That would be interesting. James Bond, a Yu-Gi-Oh! James Bond movie.
I
That
think
would
there
be a
is a
cluster.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Episode where
No,
they have...
Pedro, don't you mean a Jimmy Bond movie?
I think
What a
there...
story it is.
Seriously, the Jimmy Bond? He sounds like a
Remind
parody
me,
of
Dwebs,
James
how
Bond.
the protagonist of OK Connor is called.
Dr. Neil Connery.
Yeah,
Yep.
you answered yourself.
In that one, they were even lazier.
Alright. Oh,
Gasp.
Franks!
Franks. So hang on, let me check the
Francs were a value that were used in France and are still currently used in Switzerland.
I don't know. Again, I think I don't know where in the book the Casino Royale was actually made or set. Hang on, let me check. It's in Royale le Haut in northern France.
Oh, okay. That explains why the government can't just go in there. France is notorious for being the infamous extraterritorial rights place. Pretty much where you want to run away to if you're running away from the law. Well, from your own country.
At least for the time period.
In the 2006 film, they changed the location to Montenegro.
Yeah, I think at that point in time,
Which is, I guess, it's Discount Monte Carlo.
I don't really know much about Montenegro, I'm afraid. Alright, I'm just going to get my bottle. Don't worry, it's not alcohol. This film's not bad, it's just...
Oh, no, I'm having a decent time with this film. It's very historical. God dang it. Well, then again, if that were Tonk, he'd have a terrible hand and lose.
Whoa. Interesting choice of also not using music for the game.
That is a way to build
more. Yeah.
Suppose it is probably somewhat necessary since a lot of their stock music is more weird, upbeat, and comedic.
Also, I'm going to be completely honest here. I mean, I know they changed Bond's character a bit in this movie, but honestly, I'm not really feeling Barry Nelson here.
I can feel him for the time he's going for.
But in hindsight, but the benefit of hindsight, especially considering we've had people like Sean Connery and
I think you mean Forsythe.
Yeah, Forsythe. We had now we have Sean Connery. We had Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, and Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
I like Barry Nelson, but I won't. Yeah, go on.
I can't say George Lazenby because I haven't seen on Her Majesty's Secret Service yet.
Dun, dun, dun.
Anyway, Bond lost, I think. Did he?
Well, it doesn't seem like.
Oh no! Oh no! Wait, no. Actually, Bond beat. Oh wait, did he? I think
I win, but however, that means that the girl will die.
Apparently, the walking stick is a gun.
Yeah. Totally not suspicious at all. Gee, what do you think was gonna happen? Holy shit.
Yeah, considering this is a live show, I'm surprised the cameraman didn't accidentally get into shot.
Okay. To the Bondmobile.
Hey, don't forget the check.
He's got the check.
Oh, good.
Well, he did need a young lady, but I'm not quite sure he was looking for sympathy. Again, there's another weird thing. Mathis being a woman in this film. Sorry, in this...
Wait, is Mathis supposed to be a man?
Yes. But again, they combined Mathis and Vesper Lynn Lind into one character.
All right. I'm guessing they rectify that in the movies, the later movies.
Yeah.
Where is Miss Mantis? Tell me now! Rah.
Tell me where's tell me where's Psycho Mantis.
Psycho Mantis.
It kind of sounds like it.
I don't see it. Or rather, I don't hear it.
Wow.
Sorry, I cannot help you
spelling that
because
out.
I'm French. I need to surrender.
You know, you probably just hung up the call.
Yeah. Wow, music overload. All right. Oh no. Fair.
Okay then.
Line. Okay, what's he doing here?
Probably searching for something important.
Oh no, wait, is he replacing?
Yeah, classic. Well, I would say
course.
classic Looney Tunes gag, but I guess it's supposed to be taken seriously.
Yep.
Or is, I think he slipped something in there.
It was a simpler time. Yes, Mr. Bond.
Yeah,
Oh, there he is.
yeah, eek.
Okay, I'm guessing this. I'm guessing Peter Lorre. My guess in this film, I guess Peter Lorre was having an off day because it sounds like he's sleepwalking through this part.
Nah. It's all part of his character, I can tell.
Yeah, that's also how I usually act.
Well, it sounded like he's always falling asleep.
Maybe Dwebs.
Oh, what a great actor.
Well, the thing, again, Dwebs, you have to remember, he was a great actor for his time. You have to remember that acting back in the 1950s wasn't, you know...
I'm sure there were more lines.
Well, yeah, but they were the exception rather than the rule.
I wouldn't even call this bad acting. I mean, he's playing, you know, the obvious sleazeball, slow-talking villain, which is a common trope.
She sure loves his Jimmys.
Jimmy.
Admit it, Weaves, it's just because you get reminded of Jimmy Olsen how stupidly dies in Batman v Superman.
No, I just think it's a really silly name change. Jimmy Bond. Like I said earlier, it sounds like a bad parody of Bond. Oh wait, there is a bad parody of Bond.
Multiple, actually.
Yeah. Ugh. Uh-oh.
Well, shit.
But we're turning out to these
Now on to
messages.
Act 3.
I know it. Oh, he's locked out already. Wow, Barry, I know this film's a little bit on the dull side, but it ain't that boring. Okay, in this film, obviously they can't torture Bond by bashing his balls, so
Like I said,
there's another form of torture.
like I said, Webs, unlike other dull movies that we've both watched, this movie has the excuse it was made at a time when this was much more acceptable.
Okay, so they can't bash his balls, so they just, well, bash him. Was it again? It's a better form of torture than in the 1967 film. Wait till you guys see that one. Also, sorry, I knocked over the lamp.
That poor lamp gets so much abuse.
Of course.
Well, does it get as much abuse as the laptops of Neil Breen?
Does it, Wibs?
Nah. I think again, I haven't seen this in full. I've only seen reviews, but I'm pretty sure that lamp. I'm pretty sure a budge from like that guy's elbow is pretty much going to be the worst of it. I think, anyway. I could be wrong.
Maybe not.
Hang on, why were you still talking when the phone was still there? What if the other guy heard you?
Because they ordered him to.
Bit of a bad
All right.
But I don't want a bath. At least not here.
Oh, don't worry, Bond. I'm pretty sure your bath's gonna be quite saucy.
Oh, crud.
Oh,
A
dear.
woman in the 50s screaming? That's like as common as...
Okay, again, I think this is...
But in that time of period, there were a lot of medias that featured women in, you know...
Okay, I think this is the torture. I think this might be this torture scene, actually. So how are you gonna torture? Oh, they're gonna.
Sorry, Liquid Snake would like to have a word with you.
So torture in this film involves pulling his toes.
Oh, Dwibs, just watch.
Oh, I see now. I see. He's gonna go to
He's gonna do my torture, Dweebs.
Yeah.
Yeah, except instead of fingers, he's cutting off toes.
Oh well.
Is the Chief's? Hang on, let me check. Is the Chief's character? What nationality is the Chief's character? Fictional.
He's a war veteran, so he must be either English,
Yeah,
French,
I'm just
or
wondering
American.
what's in.
Or Austrian.
Try Albanian.
Huh. Alright. Now, Mr. Bond, this is for using the mute button.
Ow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
be
putting
bang,
it lightly.
be thankful I'm not squashing your balls.
I'm Peter Lorre, after all. I cannot be destroyed.
By the way, guys, do you know who plays the Chief in the 1967 movie?
I
No.
forgot the name. Let me check.
Orson Welles.
Alright.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Orson Welles, aka the director of Citizen Kane.
Yes.
How
Again,
bad could it be?
Ugh. Well, again, let's wait till the 67 film for that. But anyway, back to this. Where's the money?
Aw, how charitable.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the police are going to buy that.
Sure they are.
I don't.
Such a foolproof story, isn't it, Jova? Guys, you know what you could do?
What?
Just force Bond to go downstairs and claim he lost his check so they write another one.
Yeah, well, Bond's
then-
not going to
and
do
then-
that willingly.
And then he'll give it to him. Well, then again, Bond will probably just, like, bash the guy's head in with something.
Well, here's the thing, Bibbs. If he doesn't even have the check, then, well, he can't do squat about it.
Now this is for your bad jokes.
Valerie, shut up.
That goon's face.
My toes! I'll never walk again. Well, not properly.
Don't worry, we'll be able to regenerate you with the 1967 project. Side effects may include you constantly changing your appearance every now and then.
Actually, Jova, that's not the premise.
It's a joke, Dwibs.
And also, don't you mean 1962?
That Casino Royale came out in 1967.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
We're talking about the series in general. So.
Of course.
Huh, maybe this is where the cliche of "I've always loved you" started.
I think it came out long before.
What the fuck?
What is that noise I'm hearing in there?
The sound of a guy suffering while a woman confesses her love to him.
No, I heard clattering.
Again, the sound of the man suffering in the bathtub.
Dewey, go check in there.
Oh.
There you go, they're actually going, I believe so.
Yeah, you're gonna need a bit of practice walking on that foot. Sucker.
Eh. I thought he was going to make him punch himself.
Ah, good old 1950s set fight scenes.
Ta 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 ta.
Basil's going on a bit of a break.
A bathroom break, but a...
Yikes. Dead.
Walk it off. Walk it off.
Yeah. I only got shot in the chest. I'll be all right. By the way, the guests are probably woken up now and they're phoning the police, so
Win-win.
yeah. Okay, not quite win-win. Okay. Jimmy! Jimmy!
Dun 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 dun
Dun,
dun.
dun.
Okay, he's gonna call the police.
Ah!
And that's it.
Yay!
Okay, I should explain. There was another scene filmed where Bond does kill the chief, but I can't really find it anywhere. So
Yeah, I guess I like this better anyway. On taking the guy in alive.
yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that was. Hang on, I think there's another bit with that weird 1950s-ish guy. Oh no, there isn't. It's just credits. Anyway, that was Casino Royale 1954. So, guys, what are your thoughts?
It was
I like
fine.
it.
Fun in
It
the
was a
typical
fun-
50s way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it was a fun historical little romp. I mean, it's not the most exciting movie, but, well, for the 1950s, this was probably all the rage. And, you know, I enjoy it. I mean, and hey, we have this movie to thank for the whole Bond becoming a big thing on the screen, so...
Yeah, I mean, the success wasn't immediate, but taking them for 8 years, but still.
Got the ball rolling.
Alright. See you for the first moment when we will commentate on
Which
that.
is which will be Doctor No.
Yeah, see ya.
See ya.
See ya.